Good afternoon, my darlings. I thought I'd do something a little bit different on this Sunday afternoon, and it is the 19th of May, so we're gearing up towards the end of May Mayhem, and I'm going to bring you a rather unusual story today. Animal stories. Now, you would think that this is a very, very strange angle to go at, considering these are for children. There is a warning in here. Not all children of today would be able to handle what children my age group of yesteryear could handle. And I am referring to Watership Down. Now, any child of the 70s, which I am one of, we were built differently. Although I have to say, Watership Down, to this day, and I'm nearly 50, still scares the pants off me. General woundwort was the stuff of nightmares, the stuff of legendary nightmares. I can see my grandmother now saying, "Oh, darling, there's going to be a cute, fluffy bunny rabbit movie on." 3-year-old me turned round and went, "Oh, oh, yay!" What I saw was not cute and fluffy. Watership Down is the battle of battles for those rabbits. Set in Hampshire, and this poor Warren are about to be utterly slaughtered, right, in their hundreds if not thousands. And Hazel and Fiver are the little plucky skinny rabbits that managed to get away with a few of the others. Pipkin and Bigwig. Oh, Bigwig, you beautiful boy, you. So brave, so utterly brave. And you know, and it brings so many emotions out in me now, and I'm sure there are other kids from the 70s that'll turn around and say, "Watership Down," and they'll do that. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Right, it'll be, yeah, the emotions that you are feeling, it's completely natural. What you saw was not cute fluffy bunny rabbits. Do you remember Kia? Yeah, big water. Yeah. Oh my goodness me. But that general woundwort will stay in my mind for the rest, honestly, for the rest of my days. You know, up to the age that I got to at 3, life was pretty good. Life was pretty normal. Sat me down and watched Watership Down. Everything went to, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I'm not really here to talk about Watership Down, but that was to start you off. No, what I'm about to go through with you is this fairly innocuous children's book full of children's stories. But it's for the children of the past, as I doubt the children of the future will be able to stomach and be able to read this. Now, this book came out in 1981, of which this is a copy. First edition. It was a Christmas present from my grandma. At this point, I'm actually questioning whether or not grandma actually loves me. Oh, grandma, I'm so overcome with emotion. I've been thought about Watership Down again. Oh, now she's got me a book about them. Except I didn't know these words back then. All I did was just stand there and I think I'd probably cry. Anyway, you get to page 95 in this novel, in this compilation of children's stories, and you come to something called The Rabbit's Ghost Story. Are you intrigued? You should be. There we are. The Rabbit's Ghost Story. So, we're going to go through some terminology with you. Rabbit words. Silflay, feeding above the ground. That's the nice juicy stuff. Ra, or Ella-ra, a term of respect. Hazel-ra, Lord Hazel. Tharn, frightened, silly, hypnotized with fear. Frith, the sun, also God to the rabbits. So Frith, yeah, you'll remember some of this terminology. Marks, different groups of rabbits, only in Ephrathah. Oh my goodness me, Ephrathah was just brutal. Ugh. Harar, 1,000, an uncountable number. Outskirter, a junior rabbit. Ella-ra, the rabbit folk hero, something like King Arthur or Robin Hood. So they called Ra to Hazel-ra, who was their leader, the plucky old Hazel. Haraka is droppings. Arudadu is a tractor. Arudadu, right? You might remember that. White blindness. Myxomatosis. The owsla. Oh, now that puts fear in you, doesn't it, children? The owsla's after you. A warren group of senior rabbits. The owsla might as well have been the SS. Scary. The Rabbit's Ghost Story. Hazel, a male rabbit, leader of the rabbit settlement on Watership Down, has defeated a band of rabbits brought to attack him by General Woundwort. Now, I told you General Woundwort was scary. I wasn't kidding. General Woundwort, dictator of another warren sometime before. Woundwort's warren, known as Ephrathah, which scares me to my core. Well, Ephrathah attacked another warren at a place called Nutley Copse, destroyed it and forced the survivors to join Ephrathah. The general is now believed to be dead, but 5 of his defeated Ephrathans, who surrendered to Hazel and Co., have been allowed to join the Watership Down warren. These five include Groundsel, Coltsfoot and Thistle. Now you will know them from Watership Down. You will remember them. Hazel's band of rabbits, including Bigwig, my hero. Bigwig, you are my hero. And Silver. Oh, who could forget Silver? Oh, Silver, you were so brave. They are tough but good-hearted fighters. Blackberry, Pipkin, Fiver. Fiver was the clairvoyant that saw what was coming and warned his brother Hazel to get out. Fiver is a clairvoyant psychic rabbit. Bluebell was the joker. Blacklavar, an expert patroller in the wild. Dandelion was a story to... Oh, Dandelion, you had such good stories for the little babies. And Savius, Threa, and 2 youngsters. They're the 2 youngsters, are Savia and Threa. The rabbits have a friend called Kia. Well, you know I told you about Kia, a seagull who visits Watership Down from time to time. Plenty good, and big water. Yes, that's the 2 wonderful things I remember about Kia. I found this book while I was busy tidying, and gosh, I haven't thought about Watership Down in some time. And Alan Aspinall, a friend of mine who we chat quite a bit on here, suddenly reminded me of Watership Down a couple of nights ago, and The Plague Dogs, which is also a Richard Adamson. Both absolutely heartbreaking throughout, but well worth reading. And if you get to see the films, please do watch. But it reminded me of it, and I thought no more about it, and I was tidying the other day, and lo and behold, I found this, and I thought, I haven't seen this book in over 30 years, right? I was moving some things, a box that had remained in the garage and had been in there since we moved into the house 18 years ago, and I honestly thought, well, I say I haven't read this book in 30 years, but I have seen it in the last 18 years. That's how I should have put this. And I just went through the box, not thinking, you know, just trying to create some space in there, because my youngest is coming back from university. So I thought, oh, I'll just shift these and see what's in the box. And there was nothing but this book was in the box. And I thought, oh, that's so weird. That is spooky. So I picked it out and I thought to myself, right, when it got to Sunday, which was, you know, obviously it was yesterday, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, Alan, I don't know what voodoo that you do so well, but here we are doing this. Yeah, and when we moved from the original house that obviously we were in, I packed this up and I just left it in the box, and for 18 years it sat in that box until now. So I've given it a good clean and a good dust down, and you know, we're just about to go into one of the scariest children's stories that you have probably never heard of or even read. Now, I'll just read you a little bit, because you need to know a little bit of the background. Of the 5 Ephrathans who surrendered to Fiver in the ravaged honeycomb on the morning of Woundwut's defeat, 4 came in short time to be liked well enough by Hazel and his friends. Groundsel, indeed, who possessed a skill in patrolling even greater than Blacklevar's, was, despite his passionate devotion to the General's memory, a valuable addition to the Warren. While young Thistle, freed from Ephrathan discipline, soon developed a most attractive warmth and gaiety. The exception was Coltsfoot. Nobody knew what to make of Coltsfoot. A dour, silent rabbit, civil enough to Hazel and Bigwig, but inclined to be distinctively brisk with his dealings with others. He had little enough to say even to his fellow Ephrathans. On Silfley, he was nearly always to be seen grazing yards away from everybody else, and certainly no one would have dreamed of asking him to tell a story. Hazel when Bigwig complained to him one day about that pestilential fellow with a face as long as a rook's beak, counselling let him alone, since that seemed to be what he wanted, and waiting to see how he would go on as he came to feel more at home. Bluebell, when asked to refrain from jokes at his expense, remarked that he was always mistaking his silent, mournful state for that of a cow which had got shrunk in the rain. The winter following that momentous summer turned out unusually mild. December was full of sunny days, bringing out the tiny white flowers of chickweed and shepherd's purse, and even here and there, below the down, breaking the smooth black knobs of ash buds, and disclosing the tiny dark red styles along the nut bush branches. Kia flew in one day amid a great rejoicing, and brought with him a friend, one Lekikri. Yes, whose speech, as Silver remarked, set a new record for total incomprehensibility. Kia, of course, knew nothing of all that happened since the morning after the great breakout from Ephrathah. He heard the tale from Dandelion one windy, cloudy, blown afternoon, of flying beech leaves and rippling grass, and at the end remarked to the uncomprehending narrator that the nut-thanger's cat was verse mean damn plenty cormorants, a view which Lekikri corroborated with a rasping croak that made the young rabbit nearly jump a foot in the air and bolt for his hole. Yes, the nut-thanger's cat, of course. I'd forgotten about the nut-thanger's cat. Often on fine mornings, the two could be seen from the north slope of the down, shining white in the thin sunshine as they foraged together over the great ploughed field below, already green with next year's wheat. One afternoon, the end of the month, Blacklavar had taken Savius and young Threa, the son of Fiver, on a training raid to the garden of Ladle Hill. It was a house about a mile away to the west, a soft touch as he called it. Hazel had felt some anxiety about the youngsters going so far, but had left the decision, which resembled Edward III's "Qu'elle enfant gagne espérance à Crécy," to Bigwig as captain of the Owsler. Well, Bigwig is a good captain, and he will take care of the babies. They were not back by twilight, and Hazel, after watching with Bigwig in the chilly December nightfall until it was almost completely dark, came down to the honeycomb in some anxiety. "Don't worry, Hazel Ra," said Bigwig cheerfully. "Likely as not, Blacklavar's keeping them out all night for the experience." "But he told you he wouldn't," answered Hazel. "Don't you remember? He said—" Just then there was a scuffling from the Kia's Run, and after a few moments the three adventurers appeared, muddy and tired, but otherwise, to all appearances, none the worse. Savius, however, who seemed very much subdued, lay down at once on the floor where he was. "What kept you?" asked Hazel rather sharply. Blacklavar said nothing. He had the air of a leader who is reluctant to speak ill of his subordinates. "It was my fault, Hazel Ra," said Savius, rather jerkily. "I had a nasty turn on the down coming back. I don't know what to make of it. I'm sure. Baklava says, stupid young fellow. He's been listening to too many stories, said Baklava. Now look, Savius, you are home and safe. Why not leave it there? What is it? Persisted Hazel, in a more kindly tone. Oh, he thinks he saw the General, or the General's ghost, out on the down, said Baklava impatiently. I've told him. I did, said Savius. Baklava told me to go and look ahead round some bushes, and I was out there all by myself when I saw him, all black round the ears, a huge grey, just the way they tell you. Well, we all know what happened to Woundwart's eye, don't we? And I've told you that was a hare, interrupted Baklava with some annoyance. Frith on a cow! I saw it myself. Do you think I don't know what a hare looks like? Couldn't get him to move until I kicked him, he added to Bigwig in an undertone. Talk about Tharn! It was a ghost, said Savius, but with less conviction. Perhaps it was a ghost hare? I don't know about ghost hares, said Bluebell, but I tell you, the other night I nearly met a ghost flea. It must have been one, because I woke up bitten like a burnet, and I searched and searched and searched, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Just thinking, all white and shining, this fearful phantom flea. So now we know, my darlings, what's happening. The General's ghost is back to haunt and to get Hazel. Now, I'm not going to ruin any more of the story, but I have read you page 97, 98 and 99, and there is only to page 105. So I do believe it is available on Kindle, and I think that these are still quite easy to get hold of. But I do, if you can handle Watership Down, if you're of my age group and you desperately want to know about the rabbit's ghost story and how it ends, and put some closure to Watership Down, then I do highly recommend it. It's quite the novel. It really hits you in the heart. It scared me when I saw it in the box. I mean, there was nothing else in the box, just this book. So the box has been taken now to move my daughter's things back from university, which we'll be doing in a couple of weeks. But to just find this at the bottom of the box was so weird, and it brought back so many memories of my grandmother, who's been dead 5 years, and the feeling of absolute terror as I watched Watership Down, and the cold feeling. It was like somebody had put their hand on my head, and you know that feeling when something touches you and you just like turn to ice. And that was exactly what happened to me when I was getting this out of the box. And I just felt compelled that today's book for Mayhem was going to be animal stories. So if you can get yourself a copy, then you can read the rabbit's ghost story and maybe put some closure on basically one of the most compelling and yet horrifying children's stories from the 1980s. And as I say, we were made of stronger stuff back then, because children of today, if they saw the original Watership Down and read this, I think they'll be going on the psych ward. Maybe that's where I need to be. Who knows? Anyway, I do recommend this, but I recommend it for those that are seasoned rabbit readers of Watership Down. And I'll say what I always say, my darlings, which is happy readings and enjoy, and try not to have nightmares. Take care. Until tomorrow.